Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. Nothing's changed. I'm looking for that 333 or 335. This 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 before we get that A, B, C. So I am looking for this retracement to start anytime. H4, we're starting to get. Oh no, we're not getting bearish divergence here. On the H1, we're getting bearish divergence. It's still looking very much bullish. If we just quickly go down to the M15, this could be a flat for another one down in here. So we get an A, B, C in here, flat, and then we get an A, B, C in here, and then we may get more upside. I would be waiting for a C down here before I even attempted to look for a buy. And at this stage, there is no sell on it. AU on the daily, nothing's changed here. Just wait until my... There we go. So I'm looking for a 335 or 333 here before we get this larger C up. On the daily, very similar to DXY. H4, we're starting to get bullish divergence in here. Again, it's more of a sell still. There is no buy setup. And if you're buying, you're just buying into a correction before we get another one down, more than likely. Going down to the lower time frame here, I'll just check to see, I mean, you could look at this as a buy in here, but it's really, you're just looking for an A, B, C, basically. It may turn motive and start a larger correction in here, like I showed on the higher time frame. But yeah, you're buying into a correction at this stage. There's really no, signs of reversal. GU on the daily. This is pretty much following the arrow down. H4, we may have lost the divergence. We still do have a little bit of divergence here. It's very similar to AU on the lower time frames. Pretty much looking for a correction. More than likely, we get some sort of an A, 1, 2, 3, and we get a wave 4 in here and a wave 5. I'd be looking for some sort of a bear hidden in here to trade a fifth wave down on the H1. And like I mentioned on AU, if you're looking for the buy, more than likely it'd just be a correction before we get another one down. And there is no buy set up on it. There's no buy set up. If anything, it's more of a sell. You get some sort of an A, B, C on the lower time frames, and then you get an A, B, C. EU on the daily. This is pretty much playing out how I was looking for it for a long time. I'll put these arrows on for a long time now. We're getting this C down in here. But again, like the other majors, there's no real sign of reversal yet. AU, we may get another one up in here. We get an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C. It's really just scalping, and more than likely we get more downside. This may take off and give you 5 up. If you're lucky, you could look for a buy in here, but I'd just be looking for an A, B, C, and I'd definitely be at break even at the 100 fib. Wait for my internet to kick in. Oh, okay. NU on the daily. Again, we're looking for that 333 or 335. So I'm looking for a correction in here and then another one down before we get the larger A, B, C. H4, we're getting bullish divergence, but again, there's no sign of a reversal yet. Maybe some sort of a bullish setup in here. This was looking very bearish in here. Get my pen. It was looking very bearish in there. I thought this one may have gone and broken that low. It didn't. So we're getting some sort of a larger correction. Getting some sort of an A, B, C up in here, an A, B, C, larger flat before we get an A, B, C. Again, I dare say we're just going to get a correction, before we get more downside. So you're really just trading in a correction. So you'll have to be very careful trading in the following weeks. GY, been waiting for this C down in here on the daily, like an A, B, C. On the lower time frames, I was looking for a possible flat in here. We did get it technically, but I would have liked this one to go down a bit further and we'd look for that flat there. We did get a little bit of a downside there for 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was looking for a fifth one up in here. It didn't go and break the top. So this may be the start of the downside in this C wave, hopefully. I don't really like it though. Like I've mentioned last few weeks, we got this impulse down. This one, I was looking to go and break that top. It didn't. Instead, it gave us a very deep correction. So this can turn more complex and we get some sort of an A, B, C in here before we get an A, B, C, a flat. And then we get an A, B, C. So on the lower time frames, you could probably look for something, but it's going to be risky. We're in a wave 3. If we're looking at this here as 1, 2, 3. So this may go even further. You may get a scalp on the lower time frames, get a bit of a pullback in here and trade in this wave 3. And then you'll be waiting for a wave 4 and then a wave 5. Before you get that A, B, C flat. Before you get the A, B, C. So, there's really not much on this. It's still a sell. It'll be even on the lower time frame, but I dare say any pullback we get in here will give us a bear hidden in here, and we'll get another one down. So if you're looking for the buy, you're possibly buying into a correction. So you definitely can look for a buy, but keeping in mind that you're buying into a correction, so it may be very choppy. UY. So I sort of got a little bit further than I thought in here. I was looking for that A, B, C with an expanding A, B, C in here, expanding flat in here. It's sort of gone too far. We do have 5. We did get the 5 up in the wave C. We got that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. I'd be looking at this as some sort of a flat in here. I'll have to move that wave 5 over, wave 4 and 5 over. So we may get a nice setup on here for a sell. Finally, it's more on the lower time frame, but I'd be looking for, if we get a correction in here, I'd be looking for a possible 5 down. So yeah, I'd be looking for a correction in here. If it looks corrective and you get a sell set up, I'd be looking for that sell in there. May just turn into a wave C, but there's a good chance it turns motive. So I'd be putting that on the list, the watch list. UCAD, we've broken the top finally. If I quickly go over it again, we were looking at that WXY X2 and a Z up. It never went, this Z up here, it never went. Instead, we got that large correction like we got on Bitcoin. On the lower time frames, we're looking for this top here to get broken, and it's done that. We are starting to get bearish divergence, but this may not be over yet. So, like I mentioned last few weeks, you'd be targeting this 123.6. At this stage, I'd be waiting for a wave 4, like we get 1, 2, 3. You wait for a wave 4 and then trade that wave 5 up. And I'd be definitely waiting for a bull hidden and then a bullish setup before I look for that wave 5 up. The Swissy, this one here, I was looking for a possible another wave down in here. I was looking for this A and a B, and this was looking like a flat in here, so I thought we may get another one down. Instead, we're getting this wave C up already. So this is still may have a fair bit to go. If I just remove that and put a new fib on. Remove that. So these are the targets at 100 fib, and it may even turn motive and get up to this 161.8. On the lower time frames, there's no bearish divergence, and like I mentioned, we did get up to that 100 fib in here, this A, B, C. It never fell over though, so instead it gave a correction, and we got another one up with no bearish divergence. No bearish divergence in here. H1, I mean, it's still looking rather bullish in here, but you're buying at the top of the market with bearish divergence. So it gets risky if you're buying it and there is no sell on it. So you're only really looking for buys, but it gets risky when you're buying at the top of the market, especially when you have that bearish divergence already. I'd be looking for a larger correction. At least a correction here, a similar size to this over here, and then look for a buy. At minimum, I'd be looking for a correction, a similar size in time as this one over here. And you'd be trading a wave 5 up then, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd just be trading a wave 5 up. EG, we're right at the low of the market. This did give us a buy setup on the lower time frames during the week. We're looking for that C, larger C down like this A, B, C in here. It went and broke the low, which is good. We were looking at this flat here and come down, broke the low. On the lower time frames, I mean, you've pretty much missed the trade. Looking at this in here as a correction. This may turn motive, and we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. Or it just turns into an A, B, C, and we get more downside. At this stage, you've pretty much missed the buy, though. The buy was on the lower time frames. We got like 1, 2, 3 down in here. This is your buy. So you pretty much missed the buy from the low. So yeah, if I just go back to that quickly, the only other way you could really get in now is if we get a flat. If we get a flat in here, like this turns into a B wave and we get an A, B, C in here flat, well, then you could look for a buy after you get that flat. for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or even just 3 up. It may just turn into 3 up. But definitely be worth getting on if we get that larger correction. Maybe something to look at, because EG is right at the bottom of the market. So WTI, I'm really hoping that this wave in here, like predicted this wave up in here and this one down, and you can see what I'm looking at. I'm really hoping this wave in here goes and breaks that low, and then I can start to look for this wave up in here, this C up in here. The H4, we are starting to get a lot of bullish divergence. So any sort of buy setup I get, I am sort of looking for a buy. But at this stage, there is no buy on it. Ideally, if you're looking for the buy now, and I'd only really be looking for a buy for that larger C up. This wave in here has broken that low, so we do have that bullish divergence. If we get a nice impulse up and a bullish setup, definitely be looking to buy that. As for the sell, we already have that bullish divergence, so I wouldn't be looking for the sell at this stage. Gold, we've been waiting for this to fall over for a long time, and it has. This is a sell. You can only sell this on the H4 if you're looking at the H4, but you want a larger correction, roughly around 50 fib retrace of this impulse down. And then I'll be looking for at least a C down. And again, this, because it's at the top of the market, we may get 5 down in here. So it'd be definitely worth taking a sell if we get that nice correction in here. At this stage, it is more of a buy. I was looking for a buy on Friday in here on the lower time frames. It didn't go, but it still may. It's more on the M30. M30, we have this bullish divergence in here. Well, we've got a lot of bullish divergence in here. And I was looking on Friday to buy this. I did buy it, got a break even out of it. Right on the lower time frames. At this stage now, I'd be looking for like an A, a B, and get a C down here, just breaking that low. And then I'd be looking for, at least 3 up. And ideally it turns motive. And we get that larger correction I'm looking for on the H4 before we look for the sells. Silver. Silver only got up to our first target on the daily. We're looking at that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It got up to the first target, never got up to the second target. It's very similar to gold on the lower time frames. We have this nice impulse down in here. I was looking for a sell in there. But we got a nice impulse down. So again, very similar to gold, looking for a H4 correction in here. And then I'd look for at least 3 down. Is there any buy setups on it? This one was very similar to gold. It just turned into a C up, like 1, 2, 3 up, and it's fallen over. So hopefully this goes and breaks that low now. You could scalp this on the lower time frames if you got to sell, just to go and break that low. But I'm more interested in a nice impulse up and a buy setup to start that correction for that H4 before we look for the sell. Bitcoin on the daily, this shouldn't be on this. The daily, like I've mentioned before, if I just look at this last piece here, this is term motive. We got like 1, 2, 3. You wait for that wave 4 and a wave 5 up on the daily. Still may not be over on the H4 though. on the H4, we're looking for a wave 4, and then we can trade a wave 5 up. So I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3, a wave 4. So you best to wait for this wave 4 and then trade the wave 5 up, and then you'd be looking for a larger correction in that wave 3 on the daily. H1, there is a ball hidden in here. So there is a ball hidden here. So I wouldn't be surprised if that goes and breaks the top. Then we'll start to get that bearish divergence, and then I'd be looking for that wave 4 on the H4. You could start to look for, once this top here is broken, you could start to look for sells into this H4 wave 4. But again, it's got more than likely to be quite choppy. So you're better off to wait for that wave 4 and then trade that wave 5 up. S&P 500, a lot of arrows up here. I haven't removed. Just remove all these. So S&P 500, we're right at the top of the market. We've got a lot of bearish divergence. So really, I'm just looking for sells on the daily, but there is no sells. Looking at the H4, it's more of a buy still. Until this low here gets broken, it's very risky to sell. So if we get a nice impulse down here, breaking this low, well then if we get a correction, then we could start to look for a sell. Until that happens, the sell is quite risky. On the H1, we're sort of getting 5 down in here, like 1, 2, 3. You get a wave 4 and a wave 5 down. And then if you got a bullish setup, you could look for another one up to just go and break that top. But yeah, that's pretty much all you're doing, scalping on the lower time frames at this stage. AU200, looking at this at the end of wave C, but it's still messing around up the top here. Move that. We were looking for this over here. I was hoping for this to fall over. We were looking at this during the weekly outlook to sell that for that A, B, C. I was sort of hoping this would turn motive. It didn't. It just gave us 3 down. And then we got this impulse up in here. So this may go up. I'd be looking at, if I just zoom in a little bit further into this last piece in here. Well, we got a nice impulse up in here. And whether you look at this as the A, B, C, me personally, I look at this as the B wave, and we get like an A, B, C in here. This is looking rather bullish in here. So you could look to scalp it. You're just scalping it though. Ideally, it goes and breaks that top. But I would be looking at the lower time frames in here to buy, and I definitely want to be a break even at the break of this top, and be watching the market with this top here to take profit. If I just quickly go down to the H1, you can see here it's a flat. It looks very good as a flat. You get this A, B, C in here. You get a buy setup. If you get a little buy setup on the lower time frames, you can look for at least 1, 2, 3 up. The FTSE on the daily, this is still rather bullish. We got this nice impulse up in here, and we got 1, 2, 3 in here. So I was looking for more upside. It has gone a little bit further than I thought now. H4 was starting to get bullish divergence, so you could start to look for buys for sure. It's very choppy though when we look at the H1. This is very much corrective. Very choppy. So if you're getting in, if you're getting into a buy, so you get into a buy here, it comes back, takes you out. Get into a buy, it comes back, takes you out. So it's looking very corrective. So yeah, very risky to buy at this stage. By the look of this price action, it's more of a sell if anything. Lastly, the DAX. This is still looking rather bullish up the top here. It's very choppy, so you know, sort of very choppy. We got 5 down in here though. We have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's giving us a bullish setup in here, so you could look to buy it to just go and break that top, but that's about it. You definitely want to be at break even at the break of that top, and I'd be at break even way before then. Yep. You can see this is looking very bullish. But yeah, it's not the best. So looking for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That didn't go. So we're getting a larger correction in here. So you have to be careful because this is an A, B. You get a C up in here. It may just go and break that top. Then you get an A, B, C, larger black before you get A, B, C. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.